My name is Patty Morbido.
I'm Matt Schneider.
We are married. We don't share the same last name. And this is Stars and Stikes. Been here since the summer of 2003, pushing 9 years. Had a 5-year plan, and I'm not sure what happened with that. So we're still going, which is awesome. And we've kind of dug our heels in here in Princeton, in the smallest little city I've ever lived in, comparative to New York City, and we moved up here from Chicago.
That's correct.
And now we live in the metropolis of Princeton.
It was interesting. We moved up here from Chicago originally, and I kind of made an offhanded comment to my buddy that I wanted to get out of Chicago and get out of the rat race and so on and so forth. And the next day when I showed up to work, he had print out a one sheet of this establishment at the time with the price and everything on it, and I kind of laughed about it and went home that night and showed her about it. She kind of laughed or whatever and said, "Are you serious?" I guess. And the next weekend we drove up here, we met with the previous owners, we checked the town out, and within a month we had purchased the place and moved up here. And we've met so many fun people up here. I mean, I think that's what has kind of kept us around.
It is definitely a cast of characters.
Yeah,
Keeps me on my toes, for sure.
For the long haul, we've been here. Like I said earlier, we never really knew much, if anything, about bowling before we came here. We were actually looking to purchase a bar, and we kind of always said, it's funny, we just ended up buying a bar that happened to have 4 bowling lanes attached to it. We've always kind of prided ourselves that this really isn't the house you'd want to come bowl in if you're looking to bowl 300s or 800s. We basically just get the bowlers that are out for a fun time, have a couple of beers. Some are dedicated, as they join 2-3 leagues and are here 2-3 times a week. Others are just twice a monthers. We attract all types, but it's definitely been a learning experience as far as the bowling aspect of it. I think I adjusted real well because it's kind of what I was looking for. Something small, no stoplights for 20 miles, and maybe her mind wasn't ready for it at the time. I don't know.
I don't think I knew what I was getting into is what it was. I mean, everybody says, what do you like better? And I'm like, it's apples and oranges, completely apples and oranges. They both have pros, they both have cons. I remember the first trip we came up here, I put the club on my car.
And these are really nice owners. I didn't know the owners before this though, because I've only been coming
they were
here.
kind of boring.
Oh, kind of boring.
These guys are sharp. They're cool.
Nice people.
Well, it's been a bowling alley since 1944. The machines got put in 57, and the lanes have been resurfaced a few times. We resurfaced them a couple of, maybe 4 or 5 years ago now. Tore up the gutters and put all fiberglass gutters and pull-up bumpers, so we've got the capability for the kids to come in, because we do not have automatic scoring, so that's one of the charms, I think, of having an old-fashioned bowling alley is that, and we don't ever want to have automatic scoring anyway, because we want them to use their heads, And it's funny, too, because a lot of the adults come in and we have to tutorial them through how to score and everything like that, but once they get it, or we just tell them to mark it down, we come and help them score.
You always have some funny stories. I mean, I'd never seen a pin break before until a guy broke a pin. Just things that if you're around bowling, you're eventually going to see it. Some of the goofy splits you see, like, I've been here 9 years. That's the first time I've ever seen that split, whatever one you want to say. It's just a bizarre one. But as far as the bowling aspect of it, there's been a couple times where the guy's thumb gets stuck and literally the ball hit the ceiling, and that's one where you just sort of, did that really just happen? Did that guy really just do that? But other than that, I mean, nothing too substantial or out of the ordinary. Supposedly there's 2 people who died here. I don't know if anyone has ever been able to tell us their names. Supposedly a gentleman had a heart attack on lane 2, and bang, straight down. That's where he died. And then supposedly there was another gentleman who was actually working on lane 4 in the back, and he had a heart attack and died. Nothing where you get stuck in the machine and nothing gruesome like that, just heart attacks at inopportune times, I suppose.
But yeah, otherwise the bar Building ain't changed at all. Just the bar just rearranged a little bit. Oh, we used to come here in grade school and bowl.
The lanes haven't changed at all.
Not at all.
They're the same.
Nothing has changed for the lanes.
Matt oils them.
Otherwise, nope, they're identical to 45 years ago. Nothing's changed. But the bar used to be real little. There used to be a pool table in here, but it was crowded. Now it's kind of a little more seating room. Same
it was
thing.
Crowded. I think it was always crowded. You'd come in, sometimes you had a hard time getting in the door.
It was really weird. It was definitely a challenge for us when we first opened because there was very little bar business, a handful of bar stools, and there was one television. And for the most part, the establishment hadn't been open outside of leagues for years. I mean, there was the odd time, but nothing regular. One of the first things we did was set hours and keep the hours. And there were some nights in the beginning when we didn't have a bowling league where we'd sit here till 1, 2 in the morning and have put $19 in the till, over the course of 11 hours or what have you. Those were very disheartening. Obviously now we've gotten to the point where a lot of people recognize that we are a bar. I can't tell you how many times I used to hear people say, well, you guys bought the bowling alley. I don't really bowl anymore. And we'd always have to tell them, there is a bar in there. There's entertainment going on. We have done live bands. We've done, all kinds of entertainment stuff. You don't have to bowl to come in here. It's sort of, I always say it's our free entertainment. If you're a non-bowler, you plop yourself right up here and you get to watch the free entertainment.
I grew up in town. I'm not much of a bowler, but I like drinking. So. I belong to a drinking team that has a bowling problem.
Well, we have the office next door, and it's a trucking company, and with some of our drivers coming to town, we'll talk them into coming over and do what we call drunk bowling. Get them drunk, and then we try to see how good they can bowl.
And that's the thing, too. I bowl Tuesday nights, but you can come in on a Wednesday night and know everybody in here and sit and visit with them. I mean, even though I'm not bowling, you just know everybody in the town.
I think people enjoy this more just because we've got bowlers that come from Fond du Lac and bowl in leagues. They also bowl in Fond du Lac at 36 lane centers. And they always tell us how maybe they're just, feeding me a line, but they always tell us how they actually really enjoy bowling here, just because when you're in a league and you're in a 4-team league or an 8-team league, which is the biggest league we have here, 8-team leagues, and you have 2 shifts. You are forced to be friends with everyone in that league. You are forced to get along with everyone in that league. You literally bowl next to them at one time or another every week, whether you're bowling against them or not. Even at a 12-lane house, you're on lanes 1 and 2, and some other teams are on 11 and 12. You don't even interact with them the entire night unless you want to.
If you're just passing through town, this is about as unique as it gets. Going through, anywhere you travel. And actually, I think everybody's kind of glad when strangers come in because they'll go away with a great attitude and talk about the place. Yeah. But if you take the minute to stop here, you will remember it.
But yeah, it's funny when you meet new people because it seems to me that 9 out of 10 times they end up coming back and again and again and again. So they sort of become a local themselves, I guess, after a while, even if they only come up twice a year.
I think it's the people that you meet in the bar. It's just someone else to talk to. I mean, not that Matt and Patty aren't nice, but, you meet the people that, in town.
Camaraderie.
People. Yeah.
Everybody's friends with everybody here.
Yeah.
Kind of like
town.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Somebody walks in, everybody hollers their name.
There used to be a theater on the corner, that's now gone. The bowling alley's still here. You got to go to other towns to watch movies. You got to go out to other towns to shop, but you can still stay locally to bowl. And it's to me those memories. You come in and you see ages and ages.
Another thing I've seen over the years, the people that will come up here to vacation, especially people who've done it for years. They bring their kids and talk about, I gotta show you this bowling alley.
I've seen people walk in and just look around and say, we just had to see it.
Yeah, we heard about this place. Yep. And the thing is with the owners, whatever you need done. You know, if all of a sudden you were going to go do something else with your whole bunch of company or families, and you call Patty or Matt and say, look, would you open? They'll open up and you can bring 10, 12 people down, and you can't do that anywhere else. It's just phenomenal.
Like that, I couldn't imagine this town without this place, to be honest.
We've gotten to the point there now where bowling has, I would almost say it's taken over. I mean, we've got upwards of 10 leagues when we're at peak in the season.
And dart leagues.
Well, darts as well, but
yeah.
We're talking about bowling here. But yeah, I mean, we've gotten to the point where I would definitely say, you know, those 4 pin setters back there are pretty much the engine room of the ship.
Yeah.
You know, they run the place, and we just kind of try to keep it steered on course.
Thank God for bowling, really. It's our niche. It keeps us alive, you know?
Yeah.
You have 100 and some people walking through the door just to bowl every single week during peak season, so it's good for us. It's good for business, and it keeps us employed.